Is Akashvani, a review of today's Parliament proceedings read by Aparajita Nair. First from the Lok Sabha. Writer is Sagar Kulkarni of PTI. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal made a statement in the Lok Sabha on the 25% tariffs and penalty on domestic exports to the US announced by US President Donald Trump. Goyal said India will take all necessary steps to safeguard and promote national interest. In a suo motu statement, the Commerce Minister said the government is examining the implications of these tariffs and is in consultation with all stakeholders, including farmers, exporters, MSMEs and industry bodies on the tariffs. Goyal said the government attaches the utmost importance to protecting and promoting the welfare of our farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, exporters, MSMEs and all sections of the industry. He added that the implications of the recent development are being examined by the government. The ministry is engaged with all stakeholders, including exporters and industry, for taking feedback of their assessment of the situation, Goyal said. US President Donald Trump yesterday announced the imposition of a 25% tariff on all goods coming from India starting August 1, plus an unspecified penalty for buying Russian crude oil and military equipment. Goyal's remarks are important as India has hardened its stance on giving duty concessions to the US on agriculture and dairy sectors, a key demand of America in the trade talks with India. India is seeking import duty concessions from the US for its labour-intensive sectors like gems and jewellery and others besides auto parts. The two countries are negotiating a bilateral trade agreement from March with an aim to more than double the bilateral trade in goods and services to USD 500 billion by 2030 from the current USD 191 billion. So far, 5 rounds of talks have been completed. For the 6th round of talks, the US team is visiting India from August 25. They are aiming to conclude the first phase of the agreement by fall, October to November this year. The two sides are also looking at an interim trade deal before the BTA. India and the US entered into negotiations for a fair, balanced and beneficial bilateral trade agreement in March 2025, with the first phase of the agreement to be completed by fall of 2025, he said. The minister also said that in just over a decade, India has rapidly transformed from being one of the fragile 5 to the fastest growing major economy in the world. Goyal said India has risen from the 11th largest economy to one of the top 5 economies, driven by our reforms, hard work of our farmers, MSMEs and entrepreneurs. It is also widely expected that India will become the 3rd largest economy in a few years, Goyal said. The minister said international institutions and economists see India as a bright spot in the global economy. India is contributing almost 16% of global growth, he said. Goyal said that in the last decade, the government has taken measures to promote India as the manufacturing hub of the world, driven by the Make in India initiative. The minister said India's young, skilled and talented workforce is driving innovation and competitiveness of Indian industry. Our exports have steadily increased during the last 11 years. In an increasingly protectionist world, India has done mutually beneficial trade agreements with UAE, UK, Australia and EFTA countries, Goyal said. As soon as Goyal completed the statement, opposition members rushed to the well yet again and raised slogans demanding a discussion on special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar. With the opposition MPs not relenting, the Lok Sabha Speaker adjourned the House for the day. Earlier, the House congratulated scientists at the Indian Space Research Organisation for the successful launch of the NASA-ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar NISAR satellite from Sriharikota on July 30. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said the House was proud of the achievements of the space scientists at ISRO. Soon after the congratulatory message, opposition members stormed the well of the Lok Sabha and forced an adjournment till 2 p.m. over various issues, including revision of electoral rolls in Bihar. The Lok Sabha witnessed another adjournment till 4 p.m. after it had reconvened at 2 p.m. Samajwadi Party member Avdesh Prasad, who was in the chair, urged the members to take their seats but adjourned the proceedings as his pleas went unheard. In a written reply, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said the government plans to introduce an annual pass for non-commercial cars, jeeps and vans from 15th August 2025 for use at toll plazas across national highways. The annual pass will be valid for 1 year or for 200 crossings through any fee plaza on a national highway, whichever is earlier, irrespective of the fee leviable at each fee plaza, Gadkari said. The annual pass will be applicable on National Highway and National Expressway fee plazas. Gadkari said the annual pass presently does not apply to state highways and expressways. If the state government is willing to introduce such a pass system for the state highways, expressways, full technical support will be offered for the purpose, Gadkari said. In a reply to another question, Gadkari said the Zojila Tunnel project in Jammu and Kashmir is expected to be completed by February 2028. The project has been delayed due to multiple factors, including the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, a terrorist attack at the Sonamarg Tunnel project, and extreme adverse weather conditions. The current physical progress stands at 64% and the project is now targeted for completion by February 2028, Gadkari said. The total cost of the project is 6,809 crore rupees, out of which an expenditure of 3,934.42 crore rupees has been incurred so far. As per the information available with National Highways Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, a total of 1,141 individuals are currently employed in the Zojila Tunnel project. Of these, 77% are from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and 28% of the overall workforce is from the Gandarbal district, Gadkari said. In reply to a question, Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil said, since August 2019, Government of India in partnership with states is implementing Jal Jeevan Mission, Har Ghar Jal, to make provision of potable water to every rural household of the country through functional tap water connection. At the start of the mission, only 3.23 crore, 16.7% rural households were reported to have tap water connections. So far, as reported by states, UTs, as on 28th July 2025, under JJM, more than 12.44 crore additional rural households have been provided with tap water connections. Patil said, as on 28th of July 2025, out of 19.36 crore rural households in the country, more than 15.67 crore, 80.96% households are reported to have tap water supply in their homes. The minister said works for the remaining 3.69 crore households are at various stages of completion. In reply to a question, Minister of State for Power, Shripad Naik, said the present installed capacity of nuclear generation in India is 8,780 megawatt. Naik said the government has announced an ambitious nuclear energy mission with a target of reaching a nuclear power capacity of 100 gigawatt by 2047. To facilitate this mission, necessary amendments will be brought in the Atomic Energy Act and Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act to enable private investment in the nuclear power sector. The minister said the government has also announced measures for enabling R&D in small modular reactors and new advanced technologies. And now a review of proceedings in the Rajya Sabha. Writer is Sanjeev Chopra of PTI. The Rajya Sabha witnessed repeated adjournments on Thursday and was adjourned for the day without transacting any legislative business amid disruptions caused by the opposition members. Soon after the House met for the day at 11 a.m., Deputy Chairman Harivansh cited loss of time and disruptions since the start of the monsoon session and asked MPs to allow listed business to be taken up. However, opposition parties continued to press for a time and date for holding a discussion on SIR. Opposition parties also protested against Prime Minister Narendra Modi not replying to a debate on Operation Sindoor in the House. They also raised slogans demanding that he come to the House and give a statement. The upper house was first adjourned till 12 noon, within a few minutes of starting for the day. It then was adjourned till 2 p.m. amid continued uproar over the issue of SIR and Prime Minister's absence from the House. Leader of the House, J.P. Nadda, said some opposition parties staged a walkout yesterday when the Home Minister started his reply to the debate on Operation Sindoor. he drew the attention of the members to the proceedings of both the houses in the aftermath of terrorist attack in Mumbai in December 2008, saying the then Prime Minister replied to the debate in the Lok Sabha and the then Minister of Home Affairs replied to the discussion in the Rajya Sabha. The opposition parties had demanded for a discussion and to elicit the information on Operation Sindoor. However, when the opportunity came, the opposition parties in Rajya Sabha chose to walk out, he said. Therefore, the demand of the opposition parties yesterday was clearly misplaced and it displays their double standards, he said. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal also made a suo motu statement in the Rajya Sabha in the backdrop of US President Donald Trump's announcement imposing 25% tariffs plus penalty on domestic exports to America from August 1. Soon after Goyal made this statement at 4:30 p.m., the opposition members created uproar over the special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar and demanded its withdrawal. The opposition members also demanded clarifications from the minister, but the chair denied, citing previous rulings of the House and adjourned the House for the day. Earlier, Deputy Chairman Harivansh said the opposition and treasury benches must sit together and decide on the issue, but this did not cut much ice as opposition MPs started raising slogans. Harivansh said, during the current monsoon session, there was an opportunity to raise 120 questions, 120 zero-hour mentions, and an equal number of special mentions. But against this, only 11 questions, 3 zero-hour mentions, and 17 special mentions could be taken up. Total time lost was 30 hours and 6 minutes. This time was members' time and not the government business time, he said. He then went on to read a resolution the House had adopted on September 1, 1997 on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of Indian Independence. The unanimous resolution had stated that the prestige of Parliament be preserved and enhanced also by conscious and dignified conformity to the entire regime of rules of procedure and conduct of business of the Houses and directions of the presiding officers relating to orderly conduct of business. Reading out the resolution, he further said that opposition MPs must introspect. He stated that 28 notices had been received under Rule 267 that seek to set aside the business of the day to discuss the issue being raised through such notices, but rejected them as not conforming to rules. Niranjan Bishi, Debashish Samantarai, Sulata Dev, Sasmit Patra, Manas Ranjan Mangaraj, Suhashish Khuntia, Muzibullah Khan, all BJD, demanded discussion on increasing heinous crime against women in Odisha. Neeraj Dangi, Akhilesh Prasad Singh, Rajiv Shukla, Renuka Chaudhary, JB Mathur Hisham, all Congress, Sanjay Singh, AAP, Saket Gokhale, and Sushmita Dev, TMC, Abdul Wahab, IUML, demanded discussion over concerns arising out of SIR. Mausam B. Noor, Ritabrata Banerjee, Sagarika Ghosh, all TMC, and Tiruchi Shiva DMK demanded discussion on alleged discrimination against Bengali migrant workers in other states, while Jose K. Mani, KCM, Harish Biran, IUML, and John Brittas, CPM, demanded discussion on alleged unjust arrest of 2 nuns in Chhattisgarh. CPI's Sandosh Kumar P. and PP Sunir and V. Sivadasan, CPM, sought a discussion on US imposing 25% tariff and a penalty on Indian goods. BJP's Samik Bhattacharya demanded discussion on direct threat to the constitutional authority of Election Commission and electoral integrity in West Bengal. Ramji Lal Suman SP sought a discussion on the sudden resignation of former Rajya Sabha chairman Jagdeep Dhankar. Pressing for a discussion on SIR, Tiruchi Siva, DMK, said, the responsibility of smooth functioning of the House is not just of the opposition, but also of the government. Pramod Tiwari, Congress, also lent his support on the issue, while Patra BJD tried to raise the issue of crime against women in Odisha. Harivansh, however, disallowed them from raising the issue. That's all in Parliament Review.